Golf, cart, drinks, and snacks for under $15 a person, and several membership options for you to find the perfect fit for your lifestyle. Ready to play? Book your tee time today at LakeLawnResort.com. Majestic Oaks Golf Course, where your best game awaits.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside former Badger and Packer Gary Ellerson, here's Cousin Sub's Sub of the Day, Tony Cartagena.
Welcome into the Homer Hour here on 94.5 ESPN. I'm Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for the legendary Steve the Homer True. And it's a football Friday. I know it's preseason, but still a football Friday, which means the one and only former Badger, former Packer, Gary Ellerson graces the Homer Hour with his presence. GE, what up, man?
Not much, Tony. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to talk to you. I feel like we haven't done a show together since probably last football season, and it's been far too long, but the preseason is here. Green Bay, let's just say that they haven't played a preseason game yet because their first attempt didn't exactly look like football. I don't exactly know what that was, but going into tomorrow right off the bat, as a former player, your team is beat up. You're at 2s and 3s and maybe even practice squad guys on the depth chart. What are you looking at in tomorrow's game, Packers and Colts?
And you're right about all the injuries, and it feels like that's the Packer way, right? You can't have a Packer season without a lot of people being hurt in some form or fashion, and it's getting to be a little bit too absurd. I don't know about you. They tend to err on the side of caution. I'm not going to put too much into preseason with the injuries. We'll have to wait until the actual game against Detroit to try to get that all sorted out. The league is moving in a different direction, Tony, in that we know what's coming. So it's going to be 18 games, right? It's only going to be 2 preseason games. The joint practices, I think, is going to be where it's at. Now, the Packers have 2 of them, I believe, that are scheduled. I think what you're going to have in the future when we go to 18 games, I think they're probably going to be at least 3 to 4 joint practices. And this is where your frontline starters will get all the work. I really didn't want to see Jordan Love in any preseason game. I think they have enough joint practices where they can get Jordan Love and all the other starters all the work that they actually need. I think that's what's going to turn into where you see your veterans come in and get work.
So it's interesting you say it that way because I think depending on who you ask, it's, the Packers have started slow. It's because they didn't play in the preseason, and that goes back to Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. And under Mike McCarthy, Rodgers played a little bit in the preseason. They historically started a little bit quicker. Whatever it is, everyone has their own opinions. But you think joint practices are really, really going to be the key moving forward. I know this is kind of like a bigger picture, but joint practices going forward, that's where the ones really get their feet under them, really get their reps?
Right. So you'll see that. This is the way I see it now. This is just me. But I think that's the way it's going to turn. And then you're going to see all the rookies, the second-year, third-year players, second-line players, third strings, those guys, I think they get all the bulk of the work in those 2 preseason games when it actually comes to fruition.
That makes sense. I like thinking about it that way a little bit because, like I said, depending on who you ask, it's, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way, blah, 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 whatever. But the Packers are going to need depth, right? So I am actually curious to see how some of these 2s and 3s, especially on the defensive side of the ball, hold up against real NFL competition. I know people always say, like, it's bad, whatever it is. Like, these are guys who were stars in college. They've been stars at probably every level that they played, and now they're just a star amongst other stars because it's the top 0.1 of 1% make the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see where the team can have a little bit of depth and things like that. But I look at this team going into tomorrow and really the rest of until week 1. is that defensive line and are those defensive backs going to show up? What position group specifically are you kind of looking at? Let's take tomorrow's game out of it because we know it's going to be a lot of reserves, like trying to make the team.
Yeah.
But when you're just big picture.
Well, so you asked me earlier, and I gave you a whole nother answer that was on my mind. But to answer your question that you really asked me, let's get it cleaned up, right? I'm tired of seeing the drop passes.
Oh, that's real.
You talk about 1%, right, of the guys that can get to the NFL. Those guys are part of that 1%.
Yep.
We got to stop dropping those passes. That's got to end now. Let's get that cleaned up. Penalties. There were a lot of penalties.
A lot of
in
penalties
that last game that plays. Let's get that cleaned up. And then you're just talking about mental errors. Let's because there's no, for me, those three things, no excuse for. And then I think automatically the Packers, who's ever in the game, will actually play better. But the drop passes right now and the penalties right now are like my two leading things, because we saw the drop passes last year, and in certain games we saw penalties, most certainly against Philadelphia, because they just didn't have an offensive line, so those guys held all the time. But those two things, for me, when I'm watching this game Saturday, they have to go away.
No, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Like the drop passes. I'm glad to be hosting with a former NFL player today, with Gary Ellerson here on the Homer Hour, because one of my group chats that are a bunch of Packers fans sent around this video today, and they said the caption was something like, "The Packers need to get back to doing this drill," and it had to be 2014, 2015. It was Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, a really young Devontae Adams. They were standing, next to the jugs machine, right? And if for people listening on radio, I'm doing kind of like a catching motion. Where the ball was basically shot right into their hands. Yeah. So you had to, did you ever run drills like that? Have you ever seen things? Because this looked like they were catching this ball at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I don't know, normally your position group guy, position group coach, wide receiver coach, does that jugs machine with you anyway. But what those guys were doing, it was after practice.
Yeah, there was no one else on the practice field. Yeah. And I think they had a good veteran-led group that were like, hey, we need to get the work in.
Which leads me to this, Tony, and that's what happens when the veterans leave before you want them to leave, when you're ushering in a younger group, right? So really the last guy that was in there, was it Devontae? Was it Randall Cobb? Those
Devontae
two guys
would have been the youngest of that group, yeah.
Right, but then I'm talking about who was with Jaden Reed then. Who could take those guys? Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, the Heath kid.
They just haven't had that, right?
Right, so I don't know if Devontae was in the room.
I don't think he was.
With those guys.
Because Devontae he kind of ended with, it was like him and Lazard, and then Devontae was gone, and then it was Alan Lazard was the number one wide receiver, or at least veteran tenured on that roster. I guess Randall Cobb was still around because he kind of had the curtain call with Aaron Rodgers there. So it would have.
Oh, yes.
It would have the last true veteran leaders that I remember this team having. Sammy Watkins doesn't count. He wasn't around long enough, even though he played for other teams. It was Cobb in that 21-22 season, and Lazard thereafter. Cobb, we know, was an ultimate professional, going to teach young guys things. But you're right. When you look at that position group specifically, they've gone, for lack of a better term, young and cheap. And they have talent, but it has shown the little things that veterans teach you, they lack.
Right. And that's one of them. So that's what happens when you when veterans leave really before you really want them to leave, because you're ushering in younger talent. So those guys don't know what they don't know, right? Now at this point, they got to find their own way. I saw Jordy Nelson at a practice, but you know what? Jordan Nelson ain't going to walk up to Jaden Reed and say, hey, man, y'all need to be catching this jugs machine afterwards. Those guys it has to be indoctrinated, right? They have to see it. And so now someone else is going to, maybe it's the wide receivers coach, maybe it's someone like that, say, hey, man, you guys are going to put in some more work on this jugs machine after practice. We can't get it all done here. But you got those guys. I used to see those guys juggling like little balls on the sideline. They were always doing Jordy Nelson, Devontae, Randall Cobb. All those guys were always doing some sort of hand drill with balls constantly when they weren't even in the action.
Yeah, and these
guys now, you don't see that anymore.
And those guys got to learn it from James Jones. Those guys got to learn it from veterans, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver before them. And I feel like all of a sudden that just stopped. And when I look at sports in general, right? It could be most jobs in general. Like, I played point guard, right? If I wouldn't have had older leadership, veteran leadership to be like, hey, when you're in the game, you have to look for this. And just those very small nuances, like, it would have been completely different. And sometimes I know the Packers have the headline. It's like, oh, youngest team in the NFL, I think for the second, if not third straight year. But wide receiver.
Straight year for this year.
Yeah, wide receiver to me, outside of quarterback, is one of those, like, you need those vets to kind of show you the way. I mean, let's go to your experience. When you show up at UW, you're a freshman, you get to learn from senior running backs, right? Like, it's very, very simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's that way all the way through sports, though, especially when you get to high school, right? If you're a sophomore, you're playing behind a junior or senior, then you wait your turn. And then you get to college and you're a freshman, then you're trying to beat out a senior or a junior or a sophomore, and then but you learn all the nuances within that. Then when I got to Green Bay, I was a rookie. Then I had to learn behind Italy Ivory and Gary Ellis and learn what those guys do. And then when those guys move away, it's up to you then to keep some of those tricks that they taught you and pass them down to a guy like Brent Fullwood and Kenneth Davis and show Paul Akaruth and show them what you learned from those older guys. So it goes, but there's always some void, though, in there. I mean, I think if you even look at the offensive line right now, I think David Bakhtiari, though, ended earlier than what you thought that he would have. And so you lose just a little bit of some of his knowledge being passed down to a lot of the guys. I mean, he was there in the building, but he wasn't out on the field. And that's mostly where you learn, like, the small nuances of practice, not necessarily in the classroom. It's really out on the field when you screw up and the guy, you know what, you should do it like this. And it's like on-the-job training. Then you go in there, then you actually try it, what your veteran player told you to do, and those guys they're not getting that right now.
I started off positive going into the football weekend, Packers play, and now I find myself, as I have been, kind of like frustrated with the roster construction. And now that we talk about the lack of veterans, especially in a group like that, I'm like, no one's asking you to keep 100, 30-year-old wide receivers around. But when Devontae Adams is a free agent, you at least pick up the phone. In my opinion, you at least make the call to say, like, hey, what would it take to make this happen? Because that room, same with the cornerbacks, right? You keep Jair for $6 million. That room and those guys learn a lot quicker, and it looks so much better when you have those veteran leaders around. But we're gonna go positive in the next segment. I'm gonna step away from that little bit of just frustration with the roster. And coming up, I want to ask you a couple Brewers questions. I got a little bit of Brewers fever, and some people thinking this team.
We gotta do Brewers, man.
Oh yeah, I think some people think this team is peaking too early. I want to ask you about your tactics for the free cheeseburger or free burgers coming up next week. We'll talk about all that and more in the second segment of the Homer Hour. Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Homer. Gary Ellerson with me on a Football Friday. More next coming up, 94.5 ESPN.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We have one incident during your rush hour traffic over on I-94 East at County Road F in Waukesha County. The left lane is closed due to a crash. 94 westbound is seeing backups from South 16th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. 41 northbound, we're seeing backups starting at North Swan Boulevard, and that clears up once you pass Hampton Avenue. If you're heading on 43 southbound. Be aware that backups do begin at Capitol Drive. They go through the Marquette interchange. They only start to clear up once you pass Lincoln Avenue. Tonight, we'll get a chance for some showers and storms. It'll be partly cloudy with a low of 72 degrees. Saturday's going to be partly cloudy, very warm and humid with a chance of rain and storms with a high of 88 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Sean Brunda on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Let me go on.
Violent Femmes.
Like I blister in the sun. Let me go on.
Performing the debut album and the second album, Hallowed Ground.
You can all just kiss off in the
Violent
air.
Femmes. 2 sets with intermission. No opening. Live at the Riverside Theater. Saturday, October 18th. Sold out. By second show added. October 19th. Get tickets on sale now at PabstTheaterGroup.com. Violent Femmes.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
The Green Bay Packers Thursday joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts is in the books, and head coach Matt LaFleur shed some light on how the plan for the practice came together with Colts head coach Shane Steichen.
It's pretty easy to pick up the phone and make a couple calls, and we adjusted some things on the practice schedule, and yeah, he's great to work with.
It's Colts and Packers preseason game number 2 from Lucas Oil Stadium on Saturday at noon. I'm Alex Strofe.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Need a mortgage? Don't look far. In your backyard is where we are. Visit a Tri-City near you. Get a great rate from your hometown crew. Tri-City National Bank. Equal housing lender. NMLS 4333891.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN, and on the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Make sure you download that today. Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Homer, joined by the one and only Gary Ellerson. And Gary, before we get into some Brewers talk, which I'm glad you're excited about, we need to hear about your good friends over at the Jewelry Center.
Hey, fellas, if you're getting ready to take that next step in life and propose, the Jewelry Center has to be the first stop. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jewelry Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jewelry Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com or stop in today at any of their 3 locations in Brookfield, Greenfield, or Burlington.
You heard it from Gary Ellerson here on the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN. And Gary, I do have to talk Brewers here. On the talk and text line, I made a quick appearance with KBN right before you joined for the Homer Hour, and we were talking about Sal Frelick, who is a guest on Thanalysis next week, and we had a really fun interview with him. And Ben asked if we all remember that Sal was a Gold Glover last year. I didn't remember that he had won the Gold Glove, I even made the joke that I was just like, well, the Brewers haven't done Gold Glove bobblehead night for Sal yet, so why would I remember this? And our guy John on the texting in, very unhappy, we'll use, for lack of a better term, with my lack of knowledge about Sal. It is not a slight. Yeah. You think I can remember everything? Absolutely not. Well, not going to happen.
Most people think that we should. Most people think in our line of work that we should. And people forget, we cover Packers, Brewers, Bucks, and not just those three. Then we have to learn about all the other teams that they play against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not easy. And I love Sal. Sal's a great guy. I didn't mention the Gold Glove. I sat down with him for an hour this week, face to face. And guess what? Had no idea. But it's not a slight. I'm sorry I'm dumb sometimes. I just celebrate all the Brewers because I know how good all of them are, and I'm so excited. Yeah. So, Gary, the question everyone is asking you, they want to know from you straight up, August 20th is the day. Will you be getting your free burger from George Webb's?
You know what? Can I be honest with you?
Of course. That's what we do.
I don't know when the last time I went to George Webb's.
That's fair.
Really, I don't. Fair. I can't even. I can't even remember.
I think that's for a lot of people, but that's why the Brewers' success is going to revitalize and it's going to help rise like a phoenix, this great franchise that we have throughout our state. And thank you to the Brewers for making it so that we're all going to go to George Webb. You know what the cool part about this is? Have you heard that they're doing like vouchers? So you don't actually have to wait in line the day of. You can go in soon. Listen to 620 WTMJ for all the details. You can go in and they'll give you a voucher that's good for a couple days after the fact so that you can get your free burger on a later visit.
So that's a great idea.
Right?
So
love it.
I'm going to the George Webb's in Hell's Corners.
Nice.
Right there on Highway 100.
Okay.
And that's what my story is. I don't know when the last time I've been to a George Webb's, but you're right. I'm only going to go, and I don't even know if I like the burger, but I'm going to go get the burger. And I'm not getting the coupon. I'm standing in line. I'm getting the burger that day.
Listen to Gary, a man of the people. He's going to be standing in line, getting the burger. Yeah. So I think we're going to have people. We're going to have people at a bunch of different ones, right? We're going to take in the full day. We're going to talk to you live that day from the line. I want to see you in line with the people to get the free burger.
At George Webb's in Hell's Corners on Highway 100.
There it is. I was talking to some people here today, and I decided there's like some random sports memorabilia stuff that I like an autographed baseball is cool, but I want to get one of these vouchers, not to redeem it, but I want Pat Murphy to sign that thing, and I want to keep.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I want to commemorate the Brewers' 12-game winning streak and free burgers with a Pat Murphy signature. Do you know what? Honestly, maybe Matt Arnold, too, because he's been doing an incredible job putting this team together. But I think that would be a cool piece of Brewers just like history. It's a very fun thing for our city. We love it, and I just think it's great.
So we're going to talk a little Brewers. I'm glad you brought that up because Tony, I've been a little torn here with the Brewers.
Okay. Talk to me.
And I hope I don't sound like the bad radio guy or ungrateful and I was saying to myself, I don't know, about a month ago, I've seen this before. And what I mean by that, they swept the Dodgers. But in the NLCS, can they beat the Dodgers?
It's a fair question.
In the NLCS, can they beat the Mets? In the NLCS, if it is the Cubs, can they beat the Cubs? In the NLCS, can they beat the Phillies?
So here's the thing. You said two quick points.
Real quick.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Real quick, because I'm going to finish this, but real quick. And that troubled me for a long time. this year. And now I'm to the point where, you know what? I don't care. And the reason why I got to the point where that I don't care is because what I'm seeing out of the Brewers, history-wise, they never played like this before.
There it is.
I mean, they had an opportunity to get another 12 game. They had an 11-game winning streak going.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When was that, like 2-3 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was right after the All-Star break because they were on the West Coast and they had 11 wins and then they had a chance to get 12 and they lost 1-0 against the Mariners, and the guy who hit the 1 for the home run is the best home run hitter in the AL for sure this year, and their pitching staff's incredible. Like, they played a really, really good team, and they lost 1-0.
Right. So right now, and the Brewers are on tonight, as a matter of fact, if you guys probably should watch them because
it's must-watch television at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. All of it is.
Yep.
And I'm going to be on probably in the back 40 with my Brew 42. That's a new beer that I have. But
okay,
I'm going to be having a new Brew 42, watching it with a cigar because it's just so entertaining. I mean, it just is. You can't write or make up right now what the Brewers are doing. I mean, this
King Vaughn,
Collins. I remember when they did the Vaughn deal, nobody liked it.
That's the thing. Brewers Twitter will freak out. People will call in, text in, and be like, oh, we traded our 28th best prospect for someone who is hitting blah, blah, blah. Guess what?
Yes.
Matt Arnold has proven that don't react to the trade in real time. Whatever happens, happens. The guys that he has brought in, I think his hit rate is like above 70%. He's had some duds. It happens. You bring in some pitchers that kind of don't do very well at the trade deadline a couple years ago, whatever. But Matt Arnold has proven that when he makes a deal, he has consistently found some diamonds in the rough. And then, Gary, the one thing that I wanted to hit you with, because I love what you said. You said, you watching, you're all on board, but you have this little question in the back of your head on whether or not can we beat the Dodgers? Can we beat the Phillies? 2 quick points. You said, we've seen this before. It's been since 1935 that a National League team has had 2 separate 11-game winning streaks in the same season. Now, I know you haven't seen that before. The Brewers did it this year. Nearly 100 years later, they hit that number, right? Right. And when you look at what the Brewers' expectations were going into the season, can they beat the Dodgers? Can they beat the Cubs? Can they beat the Phillies? Well, guess what? No one thought they were even going to get the opportunity to. Their over-under was 83.5. They're at 75 wins right now?
Yeah.
And we still have so we will have to answer the question, can they beat the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, the Padres, who are playing really well in a playoff series? Great. 4 months ago when they started the season 0-4 and were down about 32 in the run differential, we didn't think we were going to recognize a name on the roster after the trade deadline. And now we're talking about, can we win the NLCS? Great problem to have. Bring it on all day. But I want to remind Brewers fans just to live in the moment. Enjoy it. Gary had some thoughts. He's now living in the moment, and he's just enjoying Brewers baseball with his new brew and a cigar on a Friday night watching the game. That's called living life, thanks to the Milwaukee Brewers. I love it. I love it.
Look at Tony. That's called living life.
It is. What else? It's a beautiful Friday night in Wisconsin. You're going to kick back, watch the best team in baseball. Who's your favorite Brewer?
Yeah, right.
So
take a break.
After the break here, we might ride some more Brewers excitement. We might talk some Packers. We'll see where we get to. But before that, I want to remind everyone, although it's football season starting up and we're in the heart of baseball season, it's always basketball season on Bucks Plus. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the podcast on the Bucks Plus audio network. It is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks brings you exclusive access and untold stories about some of the greatest stars and moments in Bucks history. You can go behind the scenes of the Giannis Emmy-nominated documentary, hear the true origins of Bucks and Six culture from Brandon Jennings, much, much more. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and the new ESPN Wisconsin app, wherever you get your podcasts. Bucks Plus. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. Do you know who promoted Bucks Plus this week? Do you know who saw something?
No.
Do you know who saw such good content on Bucks Plus this week? They decided, I need to share this to my 16 million followers on Instagram. Giannis. Giannis was watching some clips of Kevin Garnett on Bucks Plus that the Here District did. Marcus Johnson, Chris Johnson, Dylan Carter producing. And Giannis said, you know what? I got to respond to this. He posted it to his story, and it blew up because it's great content that they are doing over at Bucks Plus. Incredible work, the whole Bucks Plus team right there. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk football. Maybe basketball, probably not. We'll see what happens. You never know when Gary and I are on the show together. That's coming up next on the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A few backups across southeast Wisconsin. If you're heading on a 94 eastbound, be aware that backups do begin at the State Fair Park. They go past through the State Interchange and they clear up once you pass South 35th Street. If you are heading on 41 northbound, be aware that backups do begin right before North Swan Boulevard. They go all the way north and they only clear up once you pass West Hampton Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. Tonight we'll get a chance for some showers and storms. It'll be partly cloudy with a low of 72 degrees. Saturday is going to be partly cloudy, very warm and humid with a chance of rain and storms with a high of 88 degrees. Tee off at Lake Lawn Resort's Majestic Oaks Golf Course, 18 holes lakeside in Delavan. Whether you're a pro or just starting, it's the perfect course. Book your tee time today at lakelawnresort.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Sean Brinda on 94.5 ESPN.
August is the final month of the Summer Savings Event at Cunis, and the best deals just got hotter. Don't miss the final weeks of this exclusive event at nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek, Greenfield, and the new Cunis Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall. We've refreshed new vehicle savings and incentives on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. And check your local dealer website for a new set of 10 pre-owned super specials. With fall and winter on the horizon, check out our service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Get outside and enjoy the Summer Savings Event at Cunis. Start your search online at CunisMilwaukee.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all the screamin' is about.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank
want some
in
tomatoes?
the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN, and on the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Make sure to download that today. Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Steve the Homer True, Gary Ellerson with me. Gary, I got to play some Jordan Love audio for you in a second.
Sure.
But last segment, we were talking about my genius. I'm not going to call it that. It's me. Definitely not genius. I'm a Brewers nerd, right? So I was talking about a piece of memorabilia that I want to try to put together, and it is the George Webb Burger voucher signed by Pat Murphy, Matt Arnold, maybe some players. I said it on the radio, and our guy John texted in. I always appreciate fans texting in, and John, this is why you're probably doing much better than I am and might be a little bit smarter. He said, "You have just lessened the value of your great idea. Follow through, get the whole team sign one, and now you're making money in 50 years." Then follows up right away. "Don't repeat your idea. There will be less money out there for you in the future." John, here's the deal. You are correct. However, here's how I'm going to play this off. I want everyone to experience the happiness and joy that will bring me. So I'm spreading the idea to Brewer fans everywhere. Get your ticket voucher. Get in line like Gary is going to as a man of the people, and wait on the 20th and get your voucher signed, frame it, keep it for future generations to come. That's my plan.
Look at you.
Also,
you're just sharing the wealth.
Yeah, right. And also, John said you're making money in 50 years. That puts me at 80, bro. I don't know if I got 50 years left in me. That's a long time, buddy.
hopefully there'll be some Social Security for you to collect. We're not sure, but hopefully.
We could. That's a conversation you and I should have over on 620 WTMJ at some point. We'll see if it's still going to be around for us.
Yes, right. We'll talk to Grant Magic about it. Yeah.
Jordan Love. That's tough to transition, but we're going to make it happen. Jordan Love spoke to reporters this week, and Gary, I don't know if you heard this, but he's not playing. It's the news of the day, unless you're living under a rock. Of course, you've heard this one. Yeah. The thumb surgery that was performed earlier this week, and he made some comments publicly that Chris Larson has for us here.
I think with the time frame that we have right now, finishing up training camp and preseason, and heading the season with the choice to be, going into the season 100% healthy was definitely, the call I wanted to make. And like you said, dealing with injuries last year, I wanted to go into this thing feeling good.
To me, that sounds good. It gives me no worries that Jordan Love will be 100% for week one. Doctors are going to tell you how long this thing takes to fully heal. It's not his throwing hand, but Gary, when you hear that audio, are you confident that Jordan Love not only made the right decision, but he'll be ready for week one?
Let me just preface this by saying this. My son, Brock, had this same injury his senior year in high school.
Okay.
In Wisconsin Rapids.
All right, we got an expert here.
But it was his right thumb, right?
Okay.
So you could do a couple things, right? You could either have the surgery, or you can cast it and then it heal on its own. But you can cast it and continue to play, but he was on the defensive side of the ball. So knowing right hand, it was always going to be hit, hurt, something was always going to happen to it, right? In Jordan Love's case, is the left thumb, right? And you can fix it, and he is saying, fix it. In my son's case, we chose, I think he missed like 3 games.
Okay.
To miss the first 3 games of the year, so 3 weeks, came back and played with a little half a cast on it for the rest of the year. On the defensive side of the ball, you can do that, so it's fine. But in Jordan Love's case, I think what you'll see him is he'll continue to wear like a little splint or something padded on that left thumb. and he's going to be just fine. He's saying, let's fix it so it won't be a nuisance to me for the rest of the year, and I'm good with that.
So I just want to be clear. So your son, Brock, opted not to have the surgery, correct? And then he was able to play in 3 weeks.
Yes, but it bothered him the whole year.
For sure. And,
right?
And Jordan, anytime the thing is, like, anytime you have surgery, there's going to be some lingering things, whatever it is, right? You get opened up, you go on that table, you're going to have some lingering things, especially as a professional athlete where you're hit and just working out every single day. Hearing that story, that you have history with this, knowing it firsthand, essentially, because your son went through this, and him being able to play in 3 weeks gives me all the faith in the world that after going under and having the surgery to get it repaired, and now it heals. We're about 3 weeks away-ish, I think, from opening Sunday. Yep. So I think that sounds great. I mean, I know it affects the practice timing and things, but if you're going to be healthy when the games matter, that's all that matters to me, and it sounds like he is right on that path.
Right, because what you're thinking about when they say, okay, we can fix it, which means that it shouldn't be a nuisance to you all year long. Because at some point, right, what you want Jordan Love to do, you want to be able to do everything. And everything would be not standing in shotgun for 60 plays.
100%. Yeah, you can't do that.
Right? So you want him to take some snaps on the center. So fix it so I can do everything that I need to do. I really believe last year, Tony, with the knee injury, we stopped seeing a lot of boots, a lot of different things that where Jordan loved to use his legs was taken out of the offense, and he really became a statue back there, moved only when need be.
And like last minute need be. It was like break glass in case of emergency, he's going to roll out of the pocket. Yeah, that knee injury last year, that screwed him over. Like, let's just be honest. Like, it screwed up everything. It screwed up your mechanics. It screwed up your mobility. Missed time. I know they got 2 wins, but he was not the Jordan Love that we hope to see. And when your mechanics are screwed up, your accuracy is off, your timing is off. Like, that's all very real. Gary, from a running back perspective, once again, glad I'm talking to you today. So it's on his offhand. So if you're a football kind of like, let's just say dummy like I am, right? Like I understand the game enough to know how it works. Jordan Love, under center, the ball is going to hit his non-throwing hand. When he takes that snap under center, the base of the football is going to be right, kind of hit the pad of your hand. It's going to be right in your thumb. So ideally, if he didn't get it fixed, would be in shotgun. But when he's handing the ball off, how often when a quarterback is handing the ball off are you coming into contact? Is that offhand being used, offhand being affected, things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tony. We're pulling that thumb every single time. We would be running backs, right? Because even if you're not getting the ball, carry out the fake. You got to carry out the fake. You got to make it look the same. You got to carry out the fake. Carry out the fake. I mean, I hear it all. Carry out the fake. Got to carry out the fake. So everything's got to look the same, right? Yep. And so, which means that and in most cases, from a running back to a quarterback, that mesh, the fake is probably over-exaggerated more so than what the handoff really is. So you're really concentrating on getting that ball in the pocket, and then whether it be a boot or play action, you're coming out of there looking to, get rid of the football. And so if you're asking me, is that thumb's going to get banged up? Most times, yes. And it's always going to be, if they can't get it in your stomach, it hits that doggone shoulder pad or that breastplate if you're wearing one.
Okay.
For a running back, it's going to hit it every single time. And then from the center standpoint, dude's got to snap the ball and you got to feel it.
Yeah.
And so, that'd be a great question for a Balaga or any center that we have out there. But that snap is coming, and it comes hard. And it snaps when it comes. So he'll probably wear some extra padding, I would believe, on that thumb.
Okay. But overall, if all heals well, from your perspective, now you have obviously the running back perspective on this, and the father who went through this injury with his son. If all heals well, you expect Jordan Love to be good for week 1? And
absolutely. 100%.
And throughout the season. Like, this should not be something that lingers and really affects his overall play.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, if you're thinking about an injury to Jordan Love, I hate saying this, but if you think about an injury to Jordan Love, couldn't have been a better spot.
That's a good way to put it. It could, yeah. I mean, especially at this timing, too, where, if this happened in 2 weeks, now you're thinking about do surgery or no surgery, miss the opener. Right. You brought up something.
Didn't Rodgers have the tip of the thumb broken her? And then I think Brett Favre, didn't Brett Favre break the thumb or something?
So
one of those two guys did something.
Rodgers broke his thumb in the London game. I think on one of the last few plays of the game when they were trying to come back after they blew a lead to the Jets or the Giants, one of those two. It was a New York team. And I'm sure at some point Favre had a broken everything and played through it. I'm just positive of that. So if you told me Favre has a broken thumb, I'm not going to Google it. I'm just going to believe it because, he probably did.
Have Chris. See if Chris can look up the broken thumb with Brett Favre. I think he had one.
He's on it. He's Is he on it? I recently did an interview with your boy Leroy Butler, and we were talking about Favre, and he said one time he was it had to be like the Friday before a game. He showed him his ankle, and he said that ankle was black, purple, blue, yellow, and when it's yellow, it's bad. That's how you know it's bad.
During a game against the St. Louis Rams in 2003, he played through a broken thumb, continuing his consecutive start streak, sustained the injury in a game against the Rams, continued playing with a splint despite the pain. He didn't want to sit out and was determined to play.
So, you hit that one on the head.
Right thumb.
Yep.
Correct, yes.
That's wild. If you think about that, that's wild. For a quarterback that threw with that velocity to have a broken thumb and play through it, we had it so. Gary, you said earlier, if it was a concern, he would be in the shotgun most of the time and take snaps that way. If I remember correctly, in 2014, when Rodgers hurt his calf muscle and they got to the NFC Championship game against Seattle, Rodgers was pretty much immobilized at that point and was taking most out of the shotgun. And he played through that one. Obviously, that game got to overtime. But now we talk about Favre's thumb and all. We have had it so good as Packer fans, literally my entire life. It's almost like embarrassing how good we've had it at quarterback.
And I remember that the Favre, the Rodgers calf thing, because that's when McCarthy came out with the pistol offense with Eddie Lacy. So they started running the pistol. So all he had to do was just turn around, just hand it to Lacy. You didn't really have to do any play action, any of that. Lacy's going to just line up right behind you, just give it to him.
And he was still the best in the league with one leg in the pistol formation back in the day. All right, we're gonna wrap things up on this preseason football Friday here on the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN. Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Steve the Homer True with Gary Ellerson. We'll be back after the break.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Get ready, Milwaukee. ESPN Wisconsin is coming to Davidson Park. Join us live on Friday, August 22nd for Media Day at Rev and Rumble, presented by the Harley-Davidson Foundation. Jim, Matt, and Molly will be broadcasting from 2 to 5 p.m., followed by the Homer Hour from 5 to 6. Meet some of the amateur boxers before they step into the ring. Grab a photo and check out the park ahead of the big show. Then, don't miss the free Rev and Rumble Boxing Night on Saturday, August 23rd, with top Midwest fighters, food trucks, drinks, family fun, and more, all from 3 to 8 p.m. Details and registration are at revandrumble.com.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Faith and Bigora, lads and lassies. Irish Fest is almost here. One of the great Milwaukee summer festivals. And we'd like to send you there. Compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Purchase any one 18-pack bottle of Coors Light or Coors Banquet and receive one free ticket to Irish Fest. But don't delay. Tickets go quickly, and I know you don't want to miss all the great Irish food and beverages. Visit us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Discount Liquor, voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. See us this week for your free Irish Fest ticket.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Escape to Lake Lawn Resort in Delavan, Wisconsin, where everything is better at the lake. Dive into endless outdoor activities, including boating, fishing, and paddleboarding on the serene Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind in the award-winning Calidora Spa. Enjoy gourmet meals at 1878 on the lake, casual bites at the Lookout Bar and Eatery, and sweet treats at the Isle of Capri Cafe. Explore Delavan Lake's stunning shores and historic landmarks from the comfort of their 76-foot cruise boat, the Lake Lawn Queen. Book your stay today at LakeLawnResort.com.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Steve the Homer True here on the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN. Download that ESPN Wisconsin app today. Joined by Gary Ellerson, as we will be every Football Friday here throughout the season. The former Badger, the former Packer, has to tell you about his team over at the Jewelry Center.
Guys, if you're getting ready to take that next step in life and propose, the Jewelry Center has to be the first stop, whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds. The Jewelry Center has options for it all. You maybe don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jewelry Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com or stop in today at any of their 3 locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or Burlington.
I've seen them create fantasy football rings.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. If your league is intense and you're looking for something a little bit different for a champion, check out Gary's guys over at the Jewelry Center. I'm Tony Cartagena, cousin subbing for Steve the Homer
Tony,
True. What's up?
Before we get going, I do have to bring this up, and I'm going to have to get at Chris Larson just a little bit.
My man.
And I'm thinking maybe Michigan should forfeit that national championship.
Oh, I'm going to turn off my mic here and let the 2 biggest college football people I know have this conversation.
Why would they do that?
Do they got to pay back $30 million?
They pay back $20 million, but basically whatever revenue they get from their bowl games goes back to paying the fine off. So they could cut a very short or a small check, or they could cut no check, depending upon how much money they get bringing revenue-wise in postseason bans. So everything they got was basically a slap on the wrist, pretty much.
Right. A slap on the wrist for cheating during the national championship year.
But they said that they couldn't. Even the Big Ten said that they could. Here's what I said. I posted it earlier on my Twitter account. So let me bring it up here so I can
Gary,
Bring it up.
for those who are not watching on YouTube, the smile on Gary's face as he is just poking the bear. For those who don't know, Chris Larson, the biggest Michigan fan you will ever meet, and Gary's just having a good time, giving him a hard time over this one.
It says the NCAA found no evidence that Jim Harbaugh or Michigan coaches directed or had knowledge of low-level staffers Connor Stalions' alleged off-campus scouting operation. The Big Ten also said they found no such evidence of any such scouting operation.
You know what my big takeaway here is, and Chris, I know you're Michigan Wolverines. Do you know what? I wish the Wisconsin Badgers would have done this. I'm dead serious. I wish we were sitting here today talking about the national champion Wisconsin Badgers got to write a check, got a couple Jim Harbaugh can't show up to games for like 10 years, whatever it is. Do you know what? Great. I wish the Brewers would have been banging garbage cans or whatever like the Houston Astros in 2018. Because you know what? It does not take away the moments that I had. Chris, you have a national championship.
Of course.
You had that experience. Guess what?
Yep.
It don't matter to you that they're writing a check. Who cares?
Yep. The games got played. Everything's final in the record books.
If the Brewers had won it all in 2011 and people would have been like, oh, but Ryan Braun did this. Good. Guess what? We got a World Series, baby. I do not care.
This was more the NCAA trying to go after Jim Harbaugh than it was the NCAA going after Michigan.
I wish it would be the NCAA having to go after Paul Christ, Luke Fickell, whoever it would have been.
Gary Anderson.
We could have had us a national championship, Gary.
But I loved what he said, low-level staffers.
They just threw them under the bus. It is what it is.
Right. Yeah. Jim didn't know anything about the low-level staffers.
To your point, though, if Reggie Bush had to go like 20 years without being able to call himself a Heisman Trophy winner, and the Louisville Cardinals, 2013 NCAA men's basketball, they had to say, we didn't win this. Michigan probably should have got the same stuff, but like the NCAA isn't real anymore. It's not actually like a thing. They don't have any power.
And the NCAA doesn't usually strip people of titles or wins unless an ineligible player is part of the team.
Yeah, so like whatever. Michigan's going to write a check, and then Tom Brady and the guy who owns the Dolphins, whose name I'm blanking on, who's a big Michigan guy,
Stephen Ross,
and the Barstool Sports guy, they're all going to refund the money anyway.
And Larry Ellerson,
boom.
because his wife is actually Larry Ellerson, who's one of the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
His wife's a big Michigan fan, and he's cutting checks.
Larry Ellerson's wife is a Michigan. No wonder they won a national championship.
Yeah.
They'll probably win another one.
No, that's why they got the best quarterback out of high school.
Exactly, because Larry Ellerson's wife wanted him.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for y'all at all. You had your moment. You got your alumni back and everything. Yeah, you guys will be fine. But I do love, for the content, Gary just poking the Chris Larson bear, talking Michigan football to end the show. That was great. I love that. Are you having a good day, Chris, or a bad day? How do you actually feel?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, see? The biggest Michigan fan we know is fine.
Got a trophy. Seen 2 national championships in my lifetime, 97 and 2023, so I'm good.
Chris is good. I will stand by. I wish that we were having this conversation about our beloved Wisconsin Badgers. Football, basketball. I know we got our national championship in women's hockey last year, so we got that. Gary, thanks for hanging out today. ESPN Radio coming up next. This has been the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN.
We have a few backups across southeast Wisconsin. If you're heading on 41 northbound, be aware that backups do begin when you pass North Swan Boulevard. That continues all the way